So welcome to the big board, and well done for clicking on that bit, because that's brought you here and we're going to take it further. But we need to be fairly quick, so I'm going to do it fairly quickly. And what's important is the big whiteboard here. It's like having a piece of paper for yourself, and you can mirror this on that, even for your personal situation. That's what we're going to try to do. But first of all, I'm just going to explain how it works, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this down, because I've got a divider, right? So on the left side, the first left side, we're going to split into two, and then you've got a big bit and a small bit. We've also got another divider, a very important one, and that goes on the other side, which then breaks it down into three areas. But we've also got a little tiny one, which is all about going on the titles at the top, right? So you now got those elements, and you can put it on your sheet in exactly the same way. But what are these all about, right? So these are all about, number one being control. So what that means is you have a control element that we'll go through in detail. You've also got the next bit, which is a very important plan, right? And why is it a very important plan? Because it's the area that we're going to concentrate on a lot, and you're going to be able to look at in the same space. But also you've got a checklist, and this is one of the most important things, because this is on the other side of the important barrier, right? And I'll come back to that in a second. So what we're going to do is we're just going to explain that a bit further. But first of all, Paul's wearing some funny clothes, isn't he? Well, that's all about, because we're in the bronze section, right? And the bronze section is all about, and the content is designed to be understanding, right? Understanding. To make sure you understand things does a lot, including build confidence and help you making decisions. We've also got a jigsaw bit, which is also, because the area we're going to focus on is time. Brilliantly done. And the next bit is all about time, because we're going to do this in 9 minutes, and that's why Paul's talking quite quick, because we're trying to get it done as quick as possible. But not just that, we've got a real life example, and that's about with a car. And the car we're going to go through in a bit of detail as well, and I'm going to explain it. But more importantly as well, is this right for you? Well, goodness me, time is so important for so many things, and that's why we're dealing with it as number one, right? And we're going to take it further. Fairly straightforward, but we're going to do it that way. And you know what? Most people spend more time planning for their 2-week annual holiday than they do for the entire family's future going forward. Yeah, and you know what? Time is actually one of the most important things ever. It's more important even than money. And why is that? Because I can work so hard, and I can put more effort in it and get more money coming in, but I can't get more time. So what we need to do, we need to focus on this properly, and I'm going to do it on the whiteboard in a second in a very interesting and helpful way. But also we're going to use this pen, because this is all the black facts, right? When we go through it, we're also going to get you, and you can use a sheet of paper and you can mirror this down for yourself, right? So the important thing also is just to say it's all about how we're going to do it. You're still doing it in private, you can think about it in a certain way, but we are doing it together, right? We're going to stay together. So what you're going to do is you're going to take it a little bit further forward. It's not too difficult on this bit, but what's more important is, are you ready? Right, let's go. Right, so what I'm going to do in this plan, first of all, I'm going to just do a baseline, right? And this is just a line on the floor. What it is pure time, right? And what we have an initial start, right? And that start at this stage is just a sign, okay? It's just a sign in the ground and saying something starts with time. But also we're going to have a finish. And over here, this finish element is again just a sign. And what we just have this finished in the ground is to make sure we decide what's going to happen. But what actually happened here is actually, guess what? I was born. And Paul was actually there when he got up, and he was just looking around, not really sure what the heck's going on, but he's more than happy to start thinking about things, because I was 0 and I was starting to grow old. But I know even from 0 there'll be a certain amount of time and there'll be a finish. And I don't know what to say about that just yet. I'm just going to give it some thought and try and think it through, and it might be that I've got to think about, but I'm just going to have to think about that in a certain way. So once we've done that, also I'm going to tell you something about me. And believe it or not, I am in this position here, I am there, because I am aged 43. Now, I know, you know, I look a lot younger than 43, but thank you very much. But anyway, that's a position. Also, I'm just going to put a little bit of an earlier marker on there, and I'm going to use the age of 25, because that's when I started earning money and getting used to it properly, right? So I'm 25 and 43, black fact still. But that is just Paul, right? But also I'm going to put somebody else on there, and that's a lady called Sarah. And Sarah is my wife. And obviously, if I take the age of 25, we're both the same age at that position. But now she's different from me. She's aged 34, so she's a bit younger. But also there's one more, and this is another one called Fern, who's much younger little girl, and at that point she was 0, and this point she's only 5, right? So we know that position there, they're all done, and we've put this, they're just down as facts at this stage, and that's all you're actually going to do with the black pen, because you've done it so far. But you need to introduce somebody else, and this somebody else is important, because on this side you're going to start dealing with Captain Checklist, and Captain Checklist wants you to record this stuff and put it on the other side, but this time we're using a red pen, and the red pen is actually all about the important stuff. So he wants to know in the check, number 1 for Paul, he wants to know in A and B, he wants to know what was the numbers. So in A, which is number 1A, I am 25, and in number 1B I am 43. So I put there 25 and 43, right? Also he wants another one, that's Sarah, and Sarah's in the position, he also wants to know A and B, but Sarah's number 2A and number 2B, and that is 25, but that is 34, right? But also there's another one, and that is number 3, and that is Fern, right? Now Fern, obviously we know this, but Fern here, 3A, was actually 0, and 3B was actually 5. So we put 0 and 5, right? So there you go, there's the checklist. He likes to keep the check pen. So there you are, Mr. Checklist, keep the check pen, Captain. And we're going to give just Mr. Checklist a big salute. So thank you very much. So even after that salute, see that little thing that you've put together so far? It's amazing, because what you've done is you put the foundation in place we can build upon. And the important thing to know, if you hadn't done anything like this, it will be difficult to take further and do in the right way. So well done for doing that. And it's the important thing to know is not just well done, you're going to give yourself a big green tick, because well done indeed from anywhere. Right, the next bit is also we need you to score the jigsaw piece. So is it red, which is like, I haven't got a clue at all. Is it amber, which is, I need to think about this a bit, or is it green, which is carry on Paul, this is easy, okay? So you're going to score that bit, and we're going to see you in a bit. But also in the same way, if you've done it on your own sheet of paper, something like this, you've already made a brilliant start as well. But in the example session, which is the last bit there in the control section, it's all about driving a car. And what does that mean? Well, I've got it in the car, I'm ready to go, but I want to know some of the details, like who's in the car before I set off, before I start going, what's going on, right? So you've done that, but it's just a silly example to start with. I'm going to take it further, because what we're going to do is we're going to go next, which is going to take it further in the bronze area. And before we do that, we're going to deal with this. Well, these represents all the people and the ages I've been looking after and all the years I've been doing this job. And the thinking and thoughts and feelings are all different for each one. But the important thing is, I've got a question for you on this actually, if you think what is the right age to start doing some planning like this, what would you say it is, right? We'll come back to that one in the next video. But also, if you think anyone around you could help them because they haven't done any planning, please do share it with them, and we'll get to the other side, because I'm going to score and show you on the jigsaw on the other score sheet. But also I'm going to take a mug, because I'm in that group, I'm going to have a cup of tea, yeah, but I'll see you on the other side in a second. Do you know, I wish I'd done the 30 mug, not the 40 mug, you know, but anyway. But you know what, actually the 20 mug was the best years ever. Oh my god. So we're back to the plan, and I got my tea, but I even used a different mug because I love being 20 to 30, and I wish I'd done some planning at this age, and I never did myself. But anyway, what we're going to do, number one, I went through it, I understood it, and I'm going to score it as green. And green's fairly straightforward, you know, fairly simple. I was happy with that, but also with it being a green, number one, it gets a number one as the score item. We'll come back to that in a second. But also, do you know what we're doing next? And this was number two. Now, number two was a different subject. And do you remember what number two is about? Well, you know, some of these things were made of copper-plated steels from nickel and brass and cotton paper, but also some of them are thousands and thousands of years old. But you know, I might actually have some in my pocket. But anyway, I'll see you on the other side, big board. Can't wait for that. See you soon.